I believe if God hasn't called you, you won't be able, or you cannot do it.
I think so too.
You see? So I'm right after all.
You are right.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here
I'm
today.
happy that you're here.
Yeah.
And she told me behind the scenes, I said, Doc, what 3 words best describe you? She chooses one and says, I'm a tough one. I said, oh, you're a tough cookie. But you don't look it.
I am. Trust me.
Really? What makes you tough? Describe that to me.
Okay, so being female, I think that alone, if you want to succeed as a woman, you have to be tough. You just have to be. And then also, there are many challenges that will come your way, so you have to be a tough one. If you want to make it and, you know, achieve your aims in life, you have to be tough.
I can imagine. Now, I want to take the conversation right from the middle.
Right.
I'll normally start from, you know, somewhere, but let me take it from the middle because you're talking about toughness. Now, I read something that you wrote, and you said in 2019, you decided to venture into public health.
Yes.
And it was one of the most challenging ventures you ever got into.
Yes.
What made it challenging, and why do you call it a challenging moment?
Okay, so I've always had interest in women's health.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've also realized that for women's health, it will be better for us to take it out there.
Okay.
So I thought that if I get an additional degree in public health,
okay,
it would enhance my ability to do that.
Okay.
So this was when I was a medical officer in Tema General Hospital.
Okay.
I was working in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, but I hadn't started specialization then. I had actually put in the application to start specialization the following year. So I thought to myself, why waste this year? Let me just take the opportunity to do this, do the public health. So I put in the application, I write the exam, I pass, and then I start. I was very excited. I do my work during the week, and then on the weekends, I go to weekend school. I noticed I was sleeping a lot during class.
You're joking.
And yes, and you would think for somebody who is a doctor, if your body is changing a bit, you would know. But it had been a long journey trying to get pregnant and have a baby.
Right.
And so I had decided that, you know what, at the right time, this will happen, so let me go to school.
Okay.
So when it did happen, I was a bit oblivious to it. So I realized, no, I have to check myself. Okay. When I checked, I said, praise the Lord, oh my God,
You're
I'm pregnant. I was really excited. And this was just a few weeks into the program.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I started having complications. I had to leave work sometimes, be on admission multiple times, and this is what we call the threatened miscarriage. I started bleeding. And so this is this precious baby I've been waiting for years, and it's finally here, and there's the risk of losing it. So the doctor advised me, no, you need to put a hold on this, okay, and do it later. Right. So I put in a request to defer, and that I deferred. And God being so good, the pregnancy was successful. Amen. I had my son, Brian. Okay. And so it was a happy thing. But come 2020, we all remember COVID hit. I actually had him on 27th March. Okay. And that evening, the president announced our country is going into lockdown. So I remember leaving the hospital with him, and there was all this security around. I'm like, okay, wow. So fast forward to September, my admission to specialization to become
public health. Yeah.
Admission for obstetrics and gynecology specialization now comes in. Right. And then the university too says you need to resume work. Oh. And if you ask anybody, obstetrics and gynecology is a tough one. It's difficult. It's time consuming. It takes a lot. And you have to be like on point. You have to, your game has to be like up there. So there's that, and then there's public health, and I need to combine it. And I have a baby to take care of.
In actual sense, 3 babies to take care of. 3 babies, so, 2 on paper,
yes,
and 1 in person.
Yes.
Wow.
So I had to do all of this, and it was tough because first-year resident, you're running duties, you're taking care of pregnant women, you're doing surgeries, and then public health, you need to do your research work, you need to attend lectures, and there was a little rainbow in there. Most of the lectures were online. Okay. So sometimes I had to earphones in ear, and I'm attending to other things. I'm expressing breast milk, I'm doing my schedules for surgery. It was a bit crazy.
Talk about multitasking.
So honestly, at that point, I thought, should I shelve one of it? But I said to myself, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. So it didn't come easy doing all three. And you have to pay attention to baby, you have to be a good student, you have to be a good doctor, and you have to be a good wife as well, you know? So that's, the journey was long. So there was COVID, there were a couple of strikes during that time.
Health workers and all, yeah.
No, in the university, actually. The university.
Oh, yes.
So that's prolonged getting my project work done. And it seemed like, so this is starting in 2019, deferring, going back in 2020. There were a couple of strikes. Finally, I submitted my work. We were done with exams October 2021. I submit my work March 2022. And then, you know, I had to wait for graduation. At some point, no matter how tough you are, you shake. True. And that point came one day. I shook. I found myself, I was in the middle of a duty. I got a phone call, Katherine, I'm waiting for your proposal. That was my MPH supervisor. And I walked down the hallway 2 steps, and my colleague reminds me, you're the one doing residence presentation this week.
Oh, Jesus.
And the presentation was half done. And then 2 steps forward, one of my junior colleagues says, there's an emergency at the labor ward. So I'm running and I'm going. And the tears just started.
Oh, my God.
I just started crying. So I met my boss halfway, Dr. Maria Yeboah, God bless him. I met him down the hallway, and he takes one look at me, and he can tell that I'm holding back,
something
holding back the tears. And you know, everybody at work knows that I'm a hard girl. You know how to say, like, this girl is tough. But that day, I thought,
you broke.
This is a lot. This is a lot. And that was the day I decided that delegation would help a lot if you want to get there. You need to delegate some of the responsibility. You need to take time to breathe. You need to take time to relax. And that gives you the strength to move forward and achieve your goal. And so I was super excited when at the end of it all, at the end of all these challenges, I was not only the best female in the whole class, but I was the overall best. That to me was like, it was so surreal. I was so excited.
I'm told that happened just this May, 2023.
Yes, so you can imagine how long the journey has been, but I persevered, and
2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
So that's what the Bible says, that though it tarries, it will come to pass. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And these are the stories we love right here on Today's Woman. Inspiring ones that would encourage you and uplift you. You are a miracle. You know, oftentimes people do not see the effort that women especially put into becoming who they are or who they want to be. Yes. But with all these burdens that you were carrying, at a point you almost caved in, but you did not give up. I celebrate you. We all here on Today's Woman celebrate you today.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Have we done the party already? Has the graduation party happened already?
Oh, so there was the graduation party, but there's going to be a special party for the awards because hey,
invite us. Invite me. I have to be there to celebrate with you. Of course, to bring you your roses whilst you can still smell them.
Thank you.
So that's what we are doing here on Today's Woman. But tell me, Katherine, so all along, I said it, that medicine medicine, I can't afford it. The time involved. Did you always know that you become a specialist in gynecologist and then say it again,
obstetrics and gynecology.
Obstetrics. What is that, by the way?
So the gynecology is just the care of the woman's reproductive system, and then the obstetric part takes care of pregnancy, childbirth, and then the 6 weeks after childbirth.
Okay. All right, so take me through it. You know, there are so many women out there going through challenges when it comes to reproduction, childbirth, fertility, and all that. So in the surgical ward, in the hospitals, you've worked at 37 Military Hospital,
Yes,
I'm told.
yes,
Are you still there?
No.
So where are you now?
I'm at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital in Rich.
So what are some of these stories we've never heard? What do these women go through?
So sometimes I wish, if it wasn't for the sake of privacy, I wish there were cameras there for people to see. What women go through. So right from when they come through the clinic, which is usually the first point of call, they come with diseases of the reproductive system, which stems, one, from not knowing. They don't have knowledge at all about these things. And traditionally, you've been told this is your private part. In fact, it starts right from our childhood when they call it kakai and use euphemisms instead of just teaching you that this is your vagina and this is the function of your vagina. So you see women coming in with all these conditions that they have endured for a long time. One, because they don't know. Two, because they might have been shamed about it. And three, because they might not have the resources to just come to the hospital. So we see all these diseases. We do our best to help them, to educate them, and to offer them treatment. The tough ones that we see are especially the cases of infertility, which is usually put at the doorstep of the woman.
Always.
So sometimes a woman would come in, you'd ask, where's your partner? And she's like, oh, he's at home. Or he didn't come, he didn't want to come. I said, I will say to them, it takes two people to make a baby. So when you explain, the education is very important. When you explain to them the processes that go on for a child to be born, then they understand how very important it is for their husbands to be involved in their care. So sometimes the men will come eventually, other times they still won't come.
They don't show up at all.
But the women feel this burden of the infertility, and there have been times when these women sit in front of you, they start to tell you what is wrong, and they just break down.
Wow.
And you have to be both obstetrician, gynecologist, and you have to be a psychologist as well, because you have to, you know, talk them through it, calm them down, and then tell them that, but guess what? There's hope. There are A, B, C, D, and so number of things we can do to help you.
Wow.
And once you explain that infertility lies with both men and women, in fact, if you read the books, 30% due to the man, 30% due to the woman, and then the rest is a combination of two. And there's even unexplained infertility.
There is?
Yeah. So
there's no reason at all that you can attribute to it.
Yeah, you check the woman, she's fine. You check her husband, she's fine. And yet they are unable to have kids. And women are bearing all of this.
Right.
Then it comes to those who are successful, they have a happy pregnancy, and then they come through labor and delivery. It is not easy. It is a tough thing for them to do. Sometimes they come without support. Where's your husband? He's not in. And the woman is like coming to push all by herself. There's no support. Or at best, her mother follows her to the hospital. Then there are those who have the financial constraints.
Right.
After we've delivered them, they are unable to pay their bills. We see all of that. And sometimes, as the professional, it also takes an emotional toll on you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can only imagine. What's been your toughest case to deal with ever since you started?
Okay, there have been a couple, but there's a patient I still remember up to date because unfortunately she committed suicide.
You don't say.
Yeah, so this patient she had a condition we call cervical insufficiency, where the mouth of the womb, which we call the cervix, was not strong enough to hold the babies in. So she had one successful delivery, and then the subsequent deliveries were just not holding. So 3-4 months, she loses it.
Miscarries.
Yes. So when I saw her for the first time, that was her 13th pregnancy. but she had just one living child. And this woman had been all over the place. And apparently, when she gets pregnant, her husband forces her to go to the prayer camp. So I had to talk to her, counsel her, and let her know that God is everywhere. We, the healthcare professionals, for most of us, Christian Muslims as well, we pray for you even before we've seen you. When I leave the house, I said, Lord, touch my hands.
Amen.
You are the ultimate healer.
Amen.
Work through me. So before I see you, I have prayed. So we also believe in God. And guess what? If they pray for you at the prayer camp, it will reach you
exactly.
here. So next time, please come in early. Let's do this for you. She says, okay. Next pregnancy, she comes, same thing. So I said, can I see your husband? She says, no, he will not come here. Next pregnancy, I started calling her. So I would call her like on a regular basis. And she would be whispering some of the times. And I said, if you don't have money, I'll send you money. I tried to do everything. And then she was rushed in one day. That day, apart from the fluid she was leaking, she was also bleeding. And unfortunately, that was the 16th pregnancy. She lost that one too. She said to me, Dr. Ato, my husband says if I lose this pregnancy, I shouldn't come back home.
But she's so fertile, eh? Very fertile.
Yeah.
That was the 16th one.
Yeah, but she just couldn't hold it in. So I said to her, what about your mom? Your mom loves you. She said, they've coined a name for me. They say I'm chewing up my babies, all of that, so I can't go back home. So I said, you go back home. Let's talk in the course of the week. Let's see what we can do about this. I started calling the following day, no answer. Second day, her sister picks up. I can hear a lot of noise crying in the background, but I'm like, I'm trying to reach Madam AA. She's like, who is speaking? I said, I introduced myself. Yes. She was like, unfortunately, she did a bad thing. That day was tough. So apparently, she waited for them to go to bed. She made a lot of concoctions and she drank it because even her own family didn't support her. And so that is also one of the reasons why I sometimes do these like little clips and put them online about little things. Sometimes just someone has a vaginal discharge and people are calling her names. Somebody has a little condition. Society is like infertility and society is blaming her. And she has all these psychological problems. And sometimes, unfortunately, if we don't manage it well, if we don't put the information out there, when they feel they can't take it anymore, they might do something really bad to themselves.
How did the news make you feel?
That day, I had to, you know, take a step back from work. I told my colleagues, I need the afternoon. Yeah. I need the afternoon off. And these are the times that no matter how tough you are, sometimes you see the patient deteriorate or you see a bad outcome and you cry and you wish like the outcome was different. It happens sometimes.
So it's really not true that health workers, especially the females, are impatient, they are rude and they have no feelings?
No. So I hear that being said a lot about nurses and health workers in general. They say, oh, when I went to the hospital, they didn't mind me. I will not dispute that in every workplace, there are some people who do not have patience and who have bad characteristics. But our situation sometimes is very different. And sometimes we just need the public to just relax. Just know that we have your best interest at heart. And know that we came to work to help save lives. We will not do a bad thing to you. Just 2 weeks ago, I had a patient's husband who was screaming all over the place because we said the wife needs to have a cesarean section done. Whilst the exchange was going on, we're trying to calm him down. An emergency came in, so we go and attend to the emergency. He's standing there and he thinks, they've left my wife here. But you don't have the education and the, you don't know what we know sometimes. So we can tell from this patient's vitals, if we don't attend to this patient now, we could lose that patient. Yeah. But your wife is stable enough. But to him, you have just left his wife. So they would say, oh, and I went to the hospital and they didn't even mind me. No, we triage patients, and we know that this person has just 5 minutes.
Right.
And for you, if we leave you for an hour, still we can take care of you. And also, when it comes to the public health centers, we need you to be extra patient.
Okay.
Why? Because we don't have all the resources. Sometimes there are many times we take money out of our own pockets to buy medications and stuff for the patients. Yeah, so we don't have all we need. We don't have all the resources. So it will seem like we're running around a lot, but sometimes they believe they are pastors before us.
I know.
And sometimes they'll say, oh, my pastor says don't touch her, you know, and they behave like they don't trust us.
And I'm sure that's one of the biggest challenges you have in these medical centers, religion versus medicine.
Yes. So I've always said that, I mean, I love pastors who say, I've prayed for you, go to the hospital and let the doctor attend to
Exactly.
you. Or the pastor will say to you, please go to the hospital. We will back you up with prayers. Because guess what? It is the same God who gave us the knowledge. It is the same God who gives us the strength every day to come to work and take care of you.
I told you that this type of field thrives on some divine calling. If God hasn't called you to do it, you won't be able to do it. Wow. But I'm sure there's a particular day that made you super excited because of something nice or because of a huge highlight that happened, maybe in the surgical ward, in the clinic or something. What's your biggest success story?
I wouldn't be able to name just one.
You have many. Wow.
So yesterday, I was there, a junior colleague of mine sent me a voice note.
Right.
So I just like pressed it, and I can hear him, the person on the line saying, oh, hello, doctor. I wanted Dr. Ato's number, but I couldn't get it. But I'm happy I got through to you. Tell her I said God bless her.
Amen.
If there's anything more than what she is that she desires, God add it. And she was just blessings upon blessings. And this was like a 3-minute voice note.
Right.
She was just praying blessings upon blessings upon blessings. And I was sitting there I was happy. My heart was just full,
Aww.
you know. And it happens almost every day.
Right.
Yeah, there are the patients that feel like, you've done your work, full stop. But trust me, there are lots of God bless yous.
Amen.
I was standing by the roadside. I heard a woman shouting, doc, doc. So I turned to look. She's literally like showing me her baby from the mirror. She's like, look at the baby you delivered. Look at the baby you delivered. And I'm like,
sweet.
Yes.
You seem to find so much fulfillment in what you do.
Yes.
Did you always know that you end up in the medical field growing up?
So I've always wanted to be a doctor. You know, when you're small, you say, what do you want to be? And
you always said doctor.
Yes, that's because my dad, of blessed memory,
Amen.
He was a doctor as well, OBGY as well. And then, I mean, you know, back then, our whole homes were very open to everybody.
Right.
So some patients would just come in and they're like so happy, like, oh, doc, like see the baby, you know. And I used to remember just how happy they were. You know, when they come in, they're so happy. Sometimes they would bring gifts.
Right.
There were a couple of people. My dad was called Victor.
Okay.
Even if it's a girl, it's like, oh, so we are naming the baby Victoria. so all these things made me, I was like, I want this.
Right.
You know, the sort of smiles he can put on their faces, I want to be able to do that as well. So right from, you know, when they buy toys for kids.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I was always getting doctor sets.
You are joking.
Yeah, so it's been a childhood
How
dream.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure from nursery school, that's where Wesley Girls came in. You went to Wesley, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we lived at Osuringwe Estate.
Okay.
My dad was at Rich Hospital. I've ended up there.
There again, I know.
And I went to Richard's School.
Right.
So from there, I decided I want to go to Wesley Girls. And so I went to Wesley Girls. I did general science. And then from there, I decided, okay, I really want to do this. So I first applied to Tech and then to University of Ghana as well. I was giving another course at Tech, but in Legon, I got into biological sciences. Okay. And then you could do biological science to start, and then in the second year, venture into medicine. Oh. Unfortunately, the year my batch was entering, there was a dual admission.
Okay.
So that year, a mark that would have gotten you into medical school if it was just one admission,
now
that didn't
brings
happen,
you back. Oh.
So I didn't get in there. And obstacle one. So I cried. That day I cried and cried. And my big brother Albert, he says, "You are brilliant. Calm down. You can still do this. Like, remember whose daughter you are. You can do this."
Amen.
So I decided, okay, let me still go on. So I ended up with a degree in biochemistry, which I loved, by the way. Nothing would make me take back those years when I was doing biochemistry. It was good, like socially, academically. So I was done with that. I started doing national service. Okay. And whilst I was doing national service, my friends and a couple of, it was not just me, my best friend, Rushi, she also didn't get in, and we're working together. So we made a plan. Are we going outside the country? Are we doing this? Here. Are we staying here? So we decided we can still go back. Nothing stops you from reapplying. Nobody says you're too old or you can still reapply. So we put in the applications, and fortunately we both got in. So that is how I went to University of Cape Coast School of Medical Sciences. I started at the second year because I had a first degree, and in 5 years I was done. That was also tough. You know, your mates are coming from secondary school and you are a university graduate, and they are... I know. So, yeah, but you're older than them, so what?
Exactly. Did they tell you?
Yes, you need to focus. Where do I want to get to? So 2014, praise the Lord, degree bagged. And then 37 Military Hospital, from there Tema General Hospital. And you do all the major disciplines. You do medicine, you do pediatrics, you do all the others. And I found that I was happy in neurosurgery because they do all these fine surgeries. I'm like, wow. And then I left surgery and
fine surgeries.
Yes, you need to be very precise. You're working in somebody's brain or the person's spinal cord.
You need to be circumspect
exactly.
and careful.
If you go 1 centimeter beyond,
it's a disaster.
Yes. So it's very it's a very precise. And I like the fact that they work with their hands. You know. So I left surgery. When I got to ONG, I was like, I thought I loved neuroscience, but this is it. Because at the end of the day, you don't just end up with the patient who came to you. There's that patient and there's a baby. So I was like, nah, this is it.
This is your calling.
This is my calling. Wow. This is where I want to be. Wow. And that's when I ventured into.
And a few years down the line, she is sitting pretty right here on today's... Listen, your story is very inspiring. And I love the way you get excited when you talk about the babies and your success stories and all. I don't have that calling. My calling is to sit here to speak to people like you. But, oh my goodness, it's been amazing having you. What are your hobbies? What do you love to do? I know you love to travel.
Yeah. So just... You don't need to go far. Just travel out of Accra for a bit, breathe in fresh air, admire nature. Just that time for yourself, time with your family is great. I love hanging out with my friends. They are friends I've grown up with. From Wesley Girls up till now, we are still friends. I love to cook. I love to read. I'm not so much of a TV person, but once in a while I watch.
But you have to watch me.
You
have to watch me.
I've
Saturdays.
been watching Today's Woman since.
Go us.
So I like programs that are about development, that a program like this, it would shock you. Yes, we know we're doing this for the woman, but it will shock you what just a little word would make. It will make such a big difference to somebody. So, I mean, as usual, I've achieved something. I'm like, yeah, let me give myself fans. So I post it, and then the number of messages that came through. Someone says, I wanted to go back to school. I decided that, Charlie, with the children and everything, I can't do it. But since I read your story, I want to do this. And even my colleagues who feel like, Charlie, where I've reached is okay. They're like, Kathy, you were complaining, but you went ahead and you did this and you excelled at it. Now, let me also go and do this. So, yes, you feel like it's a lot, but go.
I'm super proud of you. Thank you for encouraging us today. Haven't you enjoyed this conversation with Dr. Katherine? I have Katherine Atto. Thank you so much for coming. But we are not done. Look on your left. There's activity area over there. You and I have a little something to do before you say goodbye to us. So please, after you, so you take the first seat over there.
Okay.
So let's go. Let me usher you in nicely. Okay, so I'll take this one. This is our activity area. When we come back, Doctor, I was going to say we'll end it, but okay, stay with me for 20 more minutes. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So when we come back, Dr. Katherine Atto and I will wrap it all up nicely in this activity corner. It's still today's woman. We'll be right back. It's still today's woman, and I'm still here with Dr. Katherine Atto, whose story, oh my goodness, has been more than inspiring this afternoon. But Doc, I see you're so much into healthy stuff. Is that correct?
So I like fufu, but as a busy person on the go,
right.
You need to be able to just, put something quickly together, and so you don't resort to junk.
True.
So, and usually when you've had breakfast, it keeps you going.
Right.
It's a very important meal of the day. So sometimes I just like to, put something together, a healthy smoothie. We're going to make an oats banana smoothie.
Okay.
The oats is very high in fiber.
No, you see, before you even get there, there's a myth I need you to debunk for us this afternoon. So is it true that if you don't eat breakfast in the morning, you get hungrier?
So what happens is that when the hunger pangs start,
okay,
you need the sugar to go in. And so that's what you eat a small meat pie, then you take memfafa nice and bosso, and then by the time you realize you've eaten like 5 things. But if you've planned, you've had breakfast, it keeps you full for long. You can think rationally and say, okay, let me have something small for lunch. So when you haven't planned, no breakfast in there, when the hunger pang starts, it's like put in sugar.
So it's indeed the most important meal of the day.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. So those of you who say you want to lose weight so you don't eat in the morning, Doc says it's a no-no.
No, if you want to lose weight, you need to make sure that you have a calorie deficit. Okay. So how much you eat and how much you work out, expend more energy than you eat.
Right.
So just have a healthy breakfast, low calorie, eat your normal meal, but just make sure the quantity is not too much.
Portion control.
We are not going to kakra.
Jim kakra, fufu kakra. But at this time, we are about to make, okay, Doc, so what is it that we are making? What do you call it?
Okay, so it's an oats banana smoothie. Okay. So we have our rolled oats here. Normal oats that they sell on the market is fine. Okay. So this is very high in fiber. It keeps you full for long. We have our bananas here. The banana is naturally sweet, so you don't have to put in any sugar. Sugar is bad for your health, so this is natural sugar, lots of vitamins also in there. We have almond milk, unlike full cream milk that might give you issues with cholesterol. This is a plant milk, so it's fine. Right. We have crushed cashew nuts here. These contain healthy fats. So you see, just 4 ingredients, but we're going to make something delicious and filling.
Fabulous. So let's get to it. Okay. I would normally take this for just the morning, and it can hold me for as long as I record on this set here. So you are preaching the gospel, and I'm supporting it. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
All right. So what goes into the blender first? Does it matter?
Okay. For those who want it smooth, some people don't like having like they want their smoothie very smooth. Okay. You can put the rolled oats in first, blend it a bit so that it's a bit smooth before we put in the rest. Okay. Also, if you want it to be much more smoother, you can put the bananas in the freezer. So peel it, cut it, and put it in the freezer. Okay. So when you put it in frozen, whilst it blends, you get this smooth, very
nice
smooth
feel.
Rich. Yes.
Okay. All right. So in this case, our oats is going to go in first, right? Yes. How do you like it? Very, very smooth, or maybe a little bit of roughage in there?
No, the roughage is good for you. Okay. So a little bit of roughage. It's true. And our cashew is going to go in raw. Okay. So you're getting the smoothness, and then some. Oh,
so we are not blending the cashew.
No, that's.
Oh, the topping, the garnishing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Healthy garnish.
Dr. Garnish is. So she's Doc Salt Bay is here. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. Okay. So but you mentioned that you like fufu. So your fufu, no, is it with light soup or it's with...
My favorite soup is ebunebunu because it's very healthy and you have a little snail in there, dry fish in there, and ekui.
You didn't tell us where you come from. Where do you come from?
I'm a Ghana girl.
Jamestown,
straight up.
You are joking. Ganyo bitete.
Please. Jamestown, British Accra.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I love the way she said it. It was a Jamestown, British
Accra.
Oh, you're from British Accra, innit?
Yeah.
So how was it like growing up in Jamestown?
I grew up in Osu-Ringwe Estates.
Okay.
Yeah, we come from Jamestown, but we grew up in
Osu-Ringwe
Estates.
Okay.
It was a lovely neighborhood and typical loving mother and a strict father. Yeah. And we were, myself, my siblings, and then we had a lot of cousins coming in. So when daddy was away, the house, nice.
In the job.
When you hear pim pim, everybody gets into place.
Oh, wow. And you said he was a doctor too.
Yes.
And a strict one at that.
Yes, he loved us totally. You don't ever doubt that he loves you, but you know that this love is
it's a tough love. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you do a bad thing, you get your lashes before we continue.
You people must have given him a nickname. What was it?
Oh no, so we just daddy mbae, then everybody balances.
It's a name of balance. Nice. But mommy was the more lenient one, right?
Yes. And if you wanted anything, my mom, if she had to climb mountains, go through rivers, she will do it for you.
Fabulous, fabulous. Let's blend our oats now.
Okay.
Let's see how fine it can get.
So let's give it some time.
Right.
It'll become a bit fine and then...
Maybe we should stir. What do you think?
Okay. Let's do that.
Yes, maybe stir a little bit. I'm sure because we don't have a lot. Yes, and then that's it, yeah.
So if you like it a bit rough, you can just, add the rest of the ingredients and we're good to go. So I think that should be fine. And then
how many bananas are we using?
So because of the quantity of oats we've put in there, let's do 4.
Okay, 4.
Yeah.
This is quite soft. So I'll place this back. Yeah, this is firmer.
So the softer ones are sweeter. So if you have a sweet tooth,
you can use the softer one.
You can use the softer ones, and that will mean that there will be no need for you to put sugar. Some people add honey, but remember that honey still has the calories. It's a better option because of the medicinal
purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
But it also has calories. So
just calorie burner. My Lord is a calorie burner. We're fine. So 4 of them, right?
Yes, and because of the quantity of oats we use. But if you're making it for just yourself, please.
How many bananas?
Please. So 1 banana, this type.
Okay.
Just this one. It's more than 100 calories.
It is.
So you have to be cautious.
It is.
Okay?
It is.
All right.
All right. So we blend. Okay.
So
but I see we have ice. We're not adding the ice
Give me a
yet.
minute. Let's do this first. Okay.
This is a full meal on its own.
Yep.
Wow. A full meal on its own. So we add some ice, right?
Some ice so that it comes out already chilled.
Okay. Yeah.
So not every day watch it with Wele and everything.
Preach, sister, preach. But it's a Saturday, dear. Wache must happen. Or maybe we use this one to line the stomach before the wache comes in. What do you think?
Hey, no, too much for breakfast.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go. So there we have it. You see, very creamy.
Yeah, very creamy. Okay. So that's what our almond milk. Hey, wait. Okay, no. Yeah, wait. The cashew is here.
Yes.
You said we will not blend that one, so
No,
yes.
no.
Let me
So,
be patient.
let's
If
serve
that
it.
one is for me, don't give me plenty. Like I'm trying to stay sexy and you understand. I'm still looking for Mr. Right and even beyond. So I gotta look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He'll be one lucky my guy.
Hallelujah, Mr. Right. Okay. So let me just try to open this. But first of all, I don't think I've tasted cashew. I don't think so. Cashew nuts, I've never tasted.
When you were younger, you don't know Abrofonkate. The one we plug off the tree. And then
There was something in that, Papa.
Cookie was a dadabi. She doesn't know.
What is that? What did you just talk about?
Okay, so let's go your way. So when you go to the supermarket,
Right.
look down the aisle where you have the nuts.
Okay.
Right next to the ground nuts, you have hazelnuts, you have cashew nuts as well.
Bluffo. James Town Bluffo.
British Accra,
Yeah, man, British Accra. Oh, okay. It's actually my first time going to try cashew. Honestly, cashew nuts I've never tried, never ever. But I hope it's tasty. Is it?
On its own, it's a bit bland.
Wait.
But they usually salt it. And
Not bad, though.
it goes nicely. Usually you see it being served with drinks when you go to the pub and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it has healthy fats.
Yes,
so,
ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
So
I mean, you're the doctor, so I believe you. I believe
so
you.
you just sprinkle a little bit.
All right.
You sprinkle a little bit. Okay. So this is carbohydrates. Everything is in here. Okay.
Right.
So there we go. Just a little bit.
Okay.
So those who, if you're using this on your Friday nights for your comfort food, you can add some chocolate chips.
Okay.
Just a little Ghanaian chocolate, then regular one. If you break it up, you just sprinkle a few.
Yes, ma'am. You are a gun. Oh, down. Okay, so do we drink this or we scoop this with a knife?
No,
with a spoon.
we drink it.
Oh,
Or
we drink.
you put your straw in and then you drink.
Cheers, baby girl. Cheers to your 3-year-old son. His name is
Yes.
Brian, right? And cheers to all your achievements.
Thank you.
You are
Thank
smashing your goals.
Thank
we are getting
you.
inspired right here on Today's Woman. Let me taste. Katherine, it's been amazing having you.
I'm happy.
Honestly, in all honesty, it's been one of my nicest conversations ever on Today's Woman.
I'm happy I came because I've been watching Today's Woman and today I'm here.
She is indeed here. Thank you so much for bringing us all the upliftments. You've been amazing. I pray that you keep being amazing. I pray that your success stories will be a whole lot more than your down moments. All the best, honey. Thank you so much. So this is still Today's Woman. It's now time for the world of Trendy. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere.